The next hadith in chapter of Salah, still talking about the places you cannot pray in. وعن أبي مرثد الغنوي رضي الله تعالى عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا تصلوا إلى القبور ولا تجلسوا عليها. Abu Marthad al-Ghanawi, one of the Sahaba, says that Prophet ﷺ says, do not pray towards graves and do not sit on the grave. So you should avoid to pray if you can see a grave and you happen to be outside and there's a grave, you don't pray towards this grave. Go far away from this grave and do not sit on the grave. So you shouldn't. What is the relationship between do not pray and do not sit? They say praying towards the grave is some form of glorification. Sitting on it is what do you call it? Like, as if you are neglecting that person. Yeah, exactly. So it is not good to do either thing. Of course, it is not allowed to walk on the grave. If you're not allowed to sit on it, you're not allowed to step on it either. All these things are not allowed. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ says, Abu Hurairah says, Prophet ﷺ says, أن يجلس أحدكم على جمرة فتحرق ثيابه فتخلص إلى جلده خير من أن يجلس على قبر. It says, it is better for you to sit on, a piece of coal that is ignited with fire, a hot piece of coal. See how much heat if you sit on it, how much heat will go. It says until the heat actually and the fire goes through your clothing into your skin, it is better for you to do that than to sit on a grave, on somebody's grave. So it is prohibited to sit on a grave, to walk on it, that's degrading, and at the same time it is prohibited to pray towards the grave. You don't do this, you don't do that, right?
Brother, you don't know the grave is known.
No?
If you don't know, you don't know. The place I come from, and I have seen the number of graveyards because they're limited space, and because there's a number of graves there, and there's no way you can avoid those walking.
If you don't know about it, then you're ma'zur, you're excused because you don't know there's a grave there.
No, but of course we know that a lot of people are buried there because it's a limited space.
Why? You can't make another. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
No, it's impossible to be living in a place. No, I can't imagine.
It's only if you see them because it's an old graveyard. And people are buried sometimes because in the past they didn't make graves, you see, what you call the simple, and they become elaborate.
Yeah, you do it whatever you can. If you know there's a grave, you don't walk and you don't step on it. If you don't know, then you're excused, right?
If you know historically, there was a graveyard here, right? Historically, right? Now there is it's a part.
Historically, every place on earth there was a graveyard.
Okay.
Right? Historically, there's a human being underneath every step that we take. يقول لك أخي أبو العتاهي يقول لك أخي خفف الوطأة فإنما ثرى هذه الأرض من هذه الأجساد. He says, one of the poets says, do not step too hard because every step that you take you're stepping on someone. But if you know there's a grave, a well demarcated grave, you don't sit on it and you do not step on it.
Sometimes like in Sudan, I remember some of the graveyards, some of the lazy people, they try to cut short graves, wherever they're going to.
No.
So they always take the shortcut through the graves. And with the passage of time, they make a pathway. And that's definitely, it will be walking on people anyways. And it's just interesting that nobody is preventing from like that.
Subhanallah. No.
But some people, they say this shirk people, they believe barakah.
Barakah.
Yeah, people they don't like, they come and then they eat something in the qabr.
So the way كلمني بالعربي
يعني الناس يعني الناس الصوفية يعتقدون يعني قبر يعني خير وكذا يعني.
نعم.
والناس ثانية على الناس عكس.
أيوة نعم. هو القبر ما في حاجة. No, exactly. Some people consider the graves as a holy place, and that's not allowed. And some people do the exact opposite. They break down the graveyards and stuff like this. You shouldn't do this with them. عن أبي سعيد الخدري عن أبي سعيد رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا جاء أحدكم المسجد فلينظر فإن رأى فينا عليه أذى أو قدرا فليمسحه وليصلي فيهما. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri says, the Prophet ﷺ says that if you come to the masjid and you find, you should look at your shoes, because they used to go inside the masjid with their shoes in the past, because it wasn't carpeted. It was just this normal earth, just like the earth on the street, but it's clean. There's no najasa on the inside. So he used to advise the people to look at their shoes before they enter the masjid. If they found any kind of unclean things on it or najasa, you should wipe it off. But then you're allowed to pray in your shoes. This indicates that a Muslim is allowed to pray in his shoes. It also indicates that he should make sure that everything he is wearing has no najasa, has no unclean material on it. If someone forgot, of course, we talked about this before. If someone did not know and he prayed his salah with some najasa on his shoes or in his clothing and he did not know about it, he knew after the salah, he does not have to repeat the salah. We mentioned the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he took the shoes off during the salah. If the salah was wrong, then he would have had to come out from the salah and repeat, right? Just like the wudu. When he said, when you break your wudu, you leave the salah, you repeat the wudu and come back. But when he talked about najasa, he did not. He just took it off during the salah and he continued, indicating that the first 2 rak'at were okay. And this, the difference is that they say when you are commanded to do something and you don't do it before the salah, then even if you forgot to do it and you remembered afterwards that you did not do it, then the salah is not accepted. You have to go back and do it and repeat. But if you are prohibited to do something and by mistake you committed it, like the najasa, you're prohibited to have any najasa on you, right? But by mistake you had najasa on you, then that is something that is excused. There's a difference between what you're supposed to do and what you are supposed to avoid. That's the difference between the two. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay.